السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello Ahmed. Ahmed Ziad online. Just 1 minute. We wait for a few more people to join, and we will start. Thank you, Ahmed. Family is great. Thank you very much. I'm here now on the other side of the world, on the east coast of the U.S. It's morning time here. It's night time in Dubai in Egypt. So, Muhammad Al-Banna, how are you, Muhammad? Ahmed Al-Hadi just joined. We have Marwa, Ahmad Raslan. All right, so let's start today's topic. We have some good topics to cover today. Thank you very much for last week sharing the video and sharing the event. It was a fantastic week. We keep breaking records on the views. Last week view was 58,000. The week before that was 58,000. Last week was we actually hit about 91,000 views, and this is all because of your support and sharing and telling your friends and sharing the event and sharing the video. So appreciate your support. Thank you so much for all of that. Hopefully, more and more people will keep joining us every week just to spread the knowledge and help other people that they probably struggling with any of the topics that we cover usually in these lives. So today we have a good topic to cover in the first half, and then on the second half we will touch on law number 5, which is the law of consistency. I'm sorry, I take that back. Next week will be the law of consistency. This week we will cover the law of reflection. So just to refresh your memories, we covered the first law was the intentionality law, second one was the awareness, third was the mirror, and today we will cover the reflection law in the second half of the live. And next week, inshallah, we will cover the law of consistency. But what is the first topic that we're going to talk to you today about? And it's a topic that really touches all of us. Good evening, Inji. How are you? The topic that all of us have to go through, not just once, maybe many times in our career, or maybe many times in our life. This is what we call change management and how we manage change. And let me tell you one thing. I don't think any of us like change. A human being in general, they don't like change. They like to stick to a good routine that they know, that they studied, that they're comfortable with. And the key word here is comfort. People like the comfort zone. People like the routine that they know and got used to. And then when the change comes, there are some people struggle with managing that change, and there are some people that actually manage it very well. So when we talk about change in general, in life, what are the changes in life that anybody will go through? It can go from as simple as changing, the furniture in your house from the way you are used to see it, and your sofa is always here in front of the TV, and you always sat on that sofa to watch the TV. And then your wife, one day you come and you find your wife just switched the sofa around, And you look at it and you said, why did you change? Why did you change the sofa? Why did I always sit here, watch the TV from this corner, from this angle? Why did you change it to that? And I remember when I was a little kid, I think my mom, she always, twice a year, and I couldn't understand why she did this. Twice a year, she changed the layout of the furniture. When we go home and we find that she changed the entire layout of the living room or the bedroom, and we were always, we always ask her, why did you do that? And she said, it feels good to do that, so you don't get used to the same look and the same routine. So you bring a new energy and you bring a new things to the house. And we couldn't understand it at that time. But that's as little as change that you can go through, something like that. And as big as changes in big companies, or changes in the company that you work for, or changes in your personal life of being single and then getting married, and the married life is totally different from the single life, and how you can adapt to that change. Obviously, you adapt from your wife's cooking to your mom's cooking from before, and a lot of men have problem with that. And it really, when you look at the many cases why divorce sometimes happen just because people cannot adapt to the change of what they used to in their parents' houses to a new life where there is a new life and a new routine and a new things. But the change I am about to talk about today, and I'm very interested to talk to you about, is the change usually in the workplace where we work. And the first fundamental question, now sometimes you are part of the change and sometimes you lead the change. It depends. So if you get a new boss and a new manager and comes to the company and you have a new leader in the company now you become part of the change, because maybe he comes with a lot of changes in his mind. He wants to change things, he wants to change the system, he wants to change how people do things, so you become part of that change. The other side is if you are leading the change, if you are the one coming to your department or your area or your company and you trying to do that change. So there's two different things, or two different ways of dealing with that. Are you the one who's receiving the change, or you are the one who initiating the change? And each one of them has a different story or a different way to deal with these changes. But the fundamental question that if you are leading the change, let's talk about if you are leading the change. What do you want to change? The fundamental question, what do you want to change? Do you want to change culture, or you want to change system, people, way of doing things? Now let's pause here for a second and understand culture, the way the culture and the way we name it culture, just because people doing things certain ways do not create culture. So how the culture is created? The culture is created over a long period of time, over years, and that's why we call it culture. But if people doing things here and there, we call these habits, we call this routine, we call this way of doing things, but we don't call it culture. So if I want to ask a question, what is the British culture all about? You can tell me people, they write books about this. Why? Because it was over a long period of time where people actually created that culture. What is the Egyptian culture like? Okay, that's a long years and years and years to create that culture. So if you come in as a leader and you want to change a culture, you probably you're gonna have a very, very hard time. But if you're coming to change system and people and way of doing things, is a lot easier to do it. Because to change a culture, you probably wanna go through years of doing things differently to change their culture. So in my career, I actually faced that 3 times, where I was in a situation where I have to change things, and I'm coming to companies that you know, either struggling or was very successful, but things have to change in a way. And the second question, are you walking into a company that is struggling, or you're walking into a company that's successful and you want to change things? Okay. Now it's much easier, and you will find a lot of people following you and agreeing to the change if the company is struggling. Why? Because they want a way out. They want something different. They want to see the success. They want to, you know, finally find a light at the end of the tunnel. So whatever you say, they say, okay, we are with you. You know, give and take. That some people will resist and some people will be in denial and all of that. But when you walk into a company that established, successful, and you want to change things, the first question people will ask you, why you want to change things? If it's not broken, don't fix it, right? But the way you see things, yeah, it is what I call opportunity cost. You have an opportunity cost right there, okay? What are the more opportunities that we can actually achieve here, not to make it just more successful? And people, some people are just satisfied with whatever they have today. So when you come up with a change, people usually perceive this as there is no need for it. We are just fine. We're making money, we're bonusing, the company's achieving its budget. We're doing all things are great. So why should we change? And this is where you find yourself really having a hard time. The example of this, when I joined Americana, it's a successful company. It has a culture that was built on 50 years. 50 years culture, okay, of how this company is doing business, how people are doing things, how people are interacting with one another. What is the routine of doing things every single day? What are the relationship between departments? And then when you come in and you say, whoops, you know, I think we can do better, they look at you and like, okay, I don't think you're gonna make it. Why? Because you're coming into a very established company. We know what we're doing. Who the heck are you to come in and tell us what to do? And this is what I faced. As I mentioned before, they were looking at me at that time that there is something is wrong with me. And they gave me, I remember, 6 months before I'm gone. I think people were bidding on that just give him 6 months and he will be gone by now. We have seen people like this coming and going. So the challenge for me was not to change the culture, because there is no way I would have or could have changed the culture. As a matter of fact, I have to manage myself to get adapted to certain things in the culture. So there is no culture crash between what I know and what is the culture I'm going to. And I find the normal common resistance reactions to change. What are the normal 5 things when change happens? You all know it. Okay, the first thing is denial, right? People are just denying the change. You know, he's gonna leave in 6 months, don't worry, he's not gonna be able to do anything. The second is resistance. Okay, they have people really resisting the change. So statistics said, or the study says, that when change happens, there are 20% of people will actually go right away with you with the change. 30% of people will resist, and 50% of people will stay what we call on the fence, in the middle, to see where this is going. They are swingers. They can actually go, if they see that person or the change is happening, they will go with the change. If they see the change is not successful, they go back to where they were. So your job as a leader of change when you come in is not about changing these people, who they are. You need to focus your effort on the people that on the fence. Okay? Don't waste your time so much with the people that they are resisting. Okay? In the beginning. And you need to make a very quick decision on these people. Are they going to be draggers, or they actually can be turned around and they can come to the fence at least to just watch and see what's happening? So you need to focus and convince these 50% of people to come to your side. So at least you have 20 and 50, then you have 70% of people on your side. And then you have the 30% resistance, which probably 10% will come on your side and 20% will end up either leaving or you let them go. Because when change happens, there are two types of people. People can take the change and take the pressure, and people cannot take the change and take the pressure, and they just leave. They cannot take it because this is totally change in the way they do things, and they are not convinced that this is the right thing, and they cannot take the pressure. After denial, after resistance, you get the anger, where people are really angry of the change because you are insisting on it every day. You start putting new system in place. You start holding people accountable for the results. You start, having a different KPIs for everyone. Now the measurements are different. People get sometimes frustrated and they get angry. And then you have the people that what we call they drop the towel. They just indifferent. I don't really care any much. I'm just here to do what I have to do. They don't care what the change will bring. They don't care what's gonna happen. I am here just to earn my paycheck. And then after all of this cycle is completed and all is done, then you will find out the acceptance, which it comes anything between 6 months to a year from a time perspective, how long it will take for people to get from the denial stage to the acceptance stage. However, people will not move to the acceptance stage unless they see a material change and material results, to the point that people will say, we should have done this earlier. I wish that we'd done this, or we had to do this a little bit earlier. I give you a story. So part of how I wanted to change the system in Americana when I came up with, I found most of the middle managers, area managers, and operations managers, and brand managers, and chain managers, and all of that. I came from a culture where I have to have a calendar for the month is coming up, so I know for the next 30 days what I'm going to do on every single day. And I came to that culture where they don't have that system. They're very good at what they do. They're very hardworking people, but they don't have the system to get up in the morning and understand what I'm going to do today. So they were more of firefighters. They fight fires every day. They try to resolve problems instead of trying to be more on the proactive side. And I remember start putting that system in place where we rolled out a program called Maximizing Time in the Restaurants. And you need to be 80% in the restaurants, in the field, talking to people and all of that. And I remember in the meeting, after 1 month, and I asked people to do calendars and send them to me. And then I had a meeting with that after a month. And I remember one of the area managers asked me, he said, I'm struggling. I don't know what to write on my calendar. I think it was Ihab Hilmi, if I recall correctly. We had that meeting in the HR room downstairs, if I remember. And he said, I'm struggling. I said, come to my office. Come to my office, and I will sit with you, and we will do the calendar, okay? And the way the system worked, that I had to submit my calendar to my team, and the team do their calendar and submit it to their team, and and so on and so forth. So what happened is, you know, he came to my office, we sat down, we did the calendar, I showed him how to do it, how to put things on his calendar, his personal stuff, his work stuff, and all of that. And then, you know, 6 months down the road, and everybody started doing the calendar, and I think I remember 1 month I was either, something happened, I was sick or something, and I did not submit my calendar on time to the team. And therefore, everybody could not do their calendars because they don't know when I'm going to be working with them, and they need to follow that sequence in my calendar, then their team manager's calendar or brand manager's calendars, then the area manager's calendar. And I remember getting a message from, I think Ihab as well, saying, I can't work. I don't have a calendar. I really got used to this because, you know, I got used to this so much that I wake up in the morning now, I don't know what to do. It's not like before. And this is how, when people start buying into the program. Somebody just sent a message saying, please, if you can speak in Arabic. And I said this before in the last live. الحقيقة أي حد بيسألني بالعربي، الحلقات دي كلها بالكامل بالإنجليش بناء على الطلب من كل اللي بيشاهدوا الحلقات دي، لأنها يعني على البيزنس أكتر، والبيزنس بالإنجليش بيبقى أكتر. ولكن أنا قلت إن شاء الله عن قريب هنعمل حلقات باللغة العربية، هتبقى على الصفحة التانية اللي هي هشام المكاوي بالعربي. فإن شاء الله عن قريب هيبقى في بعض الحلقات بالعربي إن شاء الله. So going back to this, and what I'm saying is people would love to see the change or the results of the change that you're making. And once they see the results, everybody will buy into it. And then the 50% of people on the fence, they will start coming your way. And the 30% of people that they're resisting, probably 10 or 20% will say, I think this is fine. I think, then they start coming your way. So this needs a lot of work, a lot of dedication. It needs a lot of persistence from the leader who's leading that change, not to give up. That leader needs to be available 24/7. I think there is a rule that I tell my family when I take a new job, that you're not going to see me in the first 6 months. You know, my kids know that, my wife know that, because I know I'm going to stay late nights. I know I'm going to leave the office late. I know that I have to be available for people. If I'm asking for change, then you need to lead by example, and you need to be the person who's actually walking the talk, like we said before. So these are the 5 things when the change happens, it goes from denial to acceptance. But we need to understand the change. There are 2 types of change. There are internal change and external change. The internal change, that's what we just mentioned. You go into a company, you're trying to change the system, you try to change the way people do things, you try to increase the efficiency, you try to increase the productivity of the company and people, and this is internal. And to cope with that, what people need to do, what you need to do as a leader, you need to prepare people with education, training, constant communication. And you need to let them know what is, after we do all of this, What are the results? What is it going to look like? You know, and we're going to talk about that, the 4D module in a little bit, where you have to dream the change to your team. What it will look like if we do these things. So they start dreaming it. And when they start dreaming it, they see the picture. And when they see the picture, they start coping and cooperating with that. So this you can control. The internal change you can control. But what about the external change? When you have something happen like the COVID-19 right now, in this time, where the external happened from the outside in, where the entire economy of the world start collapsing. How this change the way people do things internally? So the external change dictates what happened internally. And then you start doing things by force, is not by choice. So internal changes happen by choice because you have an agenda, you have goals, you know the KPIs of the company, you know the results of the company. So you take your time scheduling and arranging all of that. But what happened if the changes happen from the outside? Like the economy collapsed in 2008, for example, when the recession happened. And I'm going back to, people used to make fun of me because I joined Americana in 2008 when the recession happened, and they start making fun of me saying that you came in the wrong time, you're joining in the wrong time. As a matter of fact, I joined in the right time because I remember clearly, if we did not do the changes we have done in 2009, and we created that system of efficiency and productivity, and we were able to save more than 36 million dirhams in just from the operations alone that year, because that money was there in 2008 and 7 and 6, but they were, everybody's great, business is fantastic, everybody's bonusing, so they used to leave money on the table. So when I came in and we put the efficient system and the productivity system and all of that stuff, it helped the company to achieve 36 million just from the operations alone. The entire company achieved more than 72 million dirham in saving that year alone, that took us through 2009 and took us through the recession year. So changes sometimes is needed and sometimes is forced on you. And then you have to react. But people need to understand that COVID-19 today dictated all the changes happening inside companies. It's not the executives or the CEOs or the directors that actually wanted to reduce the labor force, or wanted to consolidate suppliers, or they wanted to consolidate expenses, or they wanted to consolidate leadership. This is COVID-19 dictating that. Now, how you do it is up to you, and how you react is up to you. So, if you are leading the change as a leader, what do you need to have to prepare for that? Number one reason, number one step is you cannot do it alone. You cannot be a hero thinking, I'm going to change this entire organization or this department or this area in one day. You have to have people help you. And in order to have people helping you, you need to delegate. And in order to delegate, you need to have capable team. You got the sequence. So in order for you to lead the change, you need to delegate. And in order for you to delegate, you have to have a capable team. And in order for you to have a capable team, you either develop that team, or change the team, or have a mix of both. Keep the people that they will help you, and get rid of the draggers that they won't help you much. I keep talking about draggers because draggers drag you, like I always say, and bring some fresh blood. Some people that they can come and bring new ideas and coming up with full energy and full power, and they want to do things differently. Okay? You need to, number one is delegating. Number two is you need to keep the line of communications open. What does that mean? You cannot hide things from your team. You need to tell them exactly things as they are. The good, the bad, and the ugly. What is the situation of the company? The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, what are the consequences if we don't do this? This is what will happen. Okay? What are the consequences if we do this? This is what will happen. You need to keep them informed. But number one, before you do all of this, you need to be an honest leader that walk the talk. You want them to work hard to achieve these results, then you should be working harder. Okay? You want them to listen, then you should be a good listener. You need them to work smart, then you need to be a smart worker. Okay? Well, I keep talking about this. You need to model that role that you are in. Okay? Number two, you need to have what I call the open door policy. Anybody can come, knock on your door and ask you questions. And you need to answer these questions. This is why you need to be available. If you ask your team to be 80% in the field visiting restaurants, then you need to visit restaurants. You cannot just sit in the office. You need to meet people. You need to shake hands. You need to, if you are a director of sales and you're asking your people to do a great job in sales, or your sales managers to do a great job in sales, then you need to be the one initiating these initiatives and walking the talk and talking the talk, both of them. So it needs to start with you, open communication. When you do that, you need to make sure that you stop what I call any rumors that can affect the culture and the business and affect what you're doing. The people love to, during the time of change, spread rumors. That's not gonna work. You know, I heard yesterday that they're gonna do this. I heard yesterday they're gonna do that. These are the 30% people that they're resisting the change, and the only defense mechanism that they have is to spread rumors, to get more people on their side of resistance. So you need to make an example of people spreading rumors. Anybody is trying to put hesitance in people's mind and remove the trust of that leader from people's mind, you need to react, and you need to react very quickly and strictly to the point that you may lose that business, you may lose that person if that's what's needed. So the third one is constantly provide feedback. So when you lead the change and you see things happening, what do you need to do? Provide feedback, constant feedback. Oh, look at these results. Oh, look what happened. Last week we did this, and this was the result. You know, we actually wanted to achieve 500,000 in sales last week. We actually came very close. We did 490, which is a fantastic thing. Let's celebrate these small victories. So people, at least, if we even did not achieve the 500, if we even did not do this, let's celebrate that small success. We came very close. Okay, so people understand that there is constant feedback. If you're asking people to do things a certain way, and I give you an example on the calendar example I gave earlier. When I used to receive the calendars to me from my secretary, and she puts all the calendar, I made the time every week, 1 hour, to look at these calendars. And what happened? I used to write comments on every single person's calendar. No, change this. No, there's too many. By the way, you don't have days off. You need to have days off. By the way, you're visiting more than 5 restaurants a day. You only visit only 3. By the way, you don't have a team meeting this month. Make sure you put the team. And this is the feedback you give people, so they adjust and they take it, change it, and keep going on. Create the system and let the system operate. Remember my saying, create the system and let the system operate. After 1 year, I didn't have to get involved. The system was operating. The people that actually were part of the change, today, after 12 years of doing this, they are the people leading the change. And they're doing what we have done 12 years ago in different countries, in different markets, in different companies. They actually became change leaders. Which, this is the beauty, because you create the system, let the system operate, and then the people that they were part of the change, they become leaders of the change. The one thing, and what I call the 3L modules, the 3Ls module. What are the 3L modules when you do change or you lead change? Number 1, you need to learn. You need to learn it. Then you need to live it. And then you need to lead it. Learn it, live it, and then lead it. So if you don't live the change as a leader, people will take you for a joke. If you're asking people to do things, again, if you're asking people to do things and you are not doing it, they will take you for a joke. They will not take you seriously. So you need to learn it, you need to live it, and then you need to lead it. The 4D module is what we call there is that gentleman who created that module. He's a professor. And he said, well, anytime you need to go through change, you need to do, the first step is discovery, which is involve the entire team, let them discover why the change is needed by asking questions, by asking them questions. What's in it for me? The number 1 question you need to ask your team when you want to change something, you need to answer the question that everybody will ask you, what's in it for me? If I do the change, or I'll be part of this, what's in it for me? And then you need to answer that. If you didn't plan it and you don't have the answer for that, then you went a little bit too early before you prepare and before you learn the change. You need to learn it first. So the discovery, what's in it for me? Then the number 1 is the dream it. You dream the change. Let them visualize how when this is all said and done, how this will actually take me and where this company will become, where myself as a person, where am I going to be when all of this is said and done after these changes? So let them dream it. Then design the possibilities for them. Create possibilities for the dream. So the 3rd D is design, right? So discovery, dream, and design. Create the possibilities. So change doesn't have to be my way or the highway, by the way. You have to create possibilities, scenarios, adjustment to the culture, adjustment to the society, adjustment to people's behavior, adjustment to people's routine. You need to be part of that as well, because this is the change happening to you as a leader, leading the change for these people. So you need to adjust to let these people be part of what you do and who you are, and part of the change. And then the last one is the last D, which is destiny. Okay, uh, destiny is the end, and how to empower the team and learn and improvise and adjust and sustain, which is the destiny of the whole change. What is the end of it? Okay, so 4Ds: discovery, dream, design, and destiny. There is, if you remember what I said, and I have 5 minutes because I wanna talk about the law number 4, which is reflection. If you remember what I said, that change needs toughness. Change needs people with what I call thick skin. People that actually can be resilient. So the resilience, as human being, we are different. We take pressure differently. We resist differently. And this is why what I'm saying, that some people, the minute the change come, they just exit. They just go. Because they cannot take it. Their resilience level is very low. So they do not take pressure very well. So the resilience is different from one person to another. There is a psychologist called Daryl Conner. Daryl Conner kind of divided people into 2 types. What he called the O type and the D type. The O type, they are resilient people. They approach change as a new opportunity that can optimistically provide a meaningful challenges that lead to great things to happen. And these people, they see the change as a great opportunities for them to grow and do great things and develop themselves. Maybe there is a leader coming with a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and they can benefit from that. Okay, let me jump on that, be part of that team. And you find these people, these are the 20% of people, they jump with you on day one. Okay, let's go. I'm in it. Okay, what do you need me to do? And these are the O type people. It's not the O blood, the blood type. It's he called them the O type, which is it's more of people are, the resilience level are very high, and they jump on the wagon very quickly, and they ask for help. These people, they are not shy when they go with the change right away to ask for help. They're very open, and they ask anybody. They ask their boss, they ask a colleague, they ask somebody for a feedback. They ask people. So that's the O type. What about the D type? He specified. The D-type people they see change as dangerous. They get defensive, and they usually in denial and reactive to change. They very reactive to change. They are the people in denial. They are the people that are indifferent. They are the people see the changes are very dangerous for them. Okay, so we are, as human beings, we swing between O and D in the course of our career or the course of our lives. You know, there are some people more on the O type than the D type, and there are some people on the D type more than the O type, and there are some people in between. Okay, so we swing. We actually, in certain situations, you find us, you know, it's a natural thing for people to, when there is a change happen, they come and, you know, they can't take the defensive mode or the defensive position. So we all swing from that. But people leading change need to be flexible thinker, both personally and on the social level. So the number one is required is resilience. You need to be really resilient. Either the one leading the change, you need to be resilient, or the one receiving the change, you need to be resilient. The one leading the change, resilience means that you need to insist. If you fail in the first, 3 months, 6 months, and you know that this is the right thing to do, stick to your position. Be resilient to the resistance that you're getting from people, okay? But at the same time, you need to be flexible thinker, okay? And flexible socialist. You need to, understand people's social mindset and people, the how they think and how they do things, and how you adjust accordingly with them to make them understand. Improvise, compromise sometimes. The conflict resolution that we talked about. How you actually compromise sometimes to gain that person on your side. Okay, so flexible thinking provide more broad range of ideas, enjoy complexity, and enjoy creative solution. These are the flexible thinkers. Okay, social flexibility needed to understand people's strengths and weaknesses, to create the culture of change. They are usually not threatened, as they constantly reaching out to others to add value and ask for support. These are the flexible thinkers. So to summarize, okay, if you are part of the change or you are leading the change, you need to do the 4D, right? The 4: discovery, dream it, design it, and know your destiny. Okay, you need to learn it, live it, and lead it. And you need to be a resilient person and a flexible thinker person. Hope that give you a little bit flavor of managing change. This is a full workshop that I do for a full day. And if anybody is interested or anybody would like to have that, then please go to my website, www.hishamalmakawi.com, and find out the program, and then we can do a full day of management change. So we'll talk about the law of reflection. So to recap, for people just joined us, we talked about law number 1, intentionality. Law number 2 is awareness. Law number 3 is the mirror. And today we'll talk about the law number 4, which is reflection. What is reflection? The reflection is the power of pausing. How you pause. When the video is running and you pause the video to stop. This is who we are. We are on a journey of growth. We keep having our goals one after another. We keep having our plans and our action plans and our development plan, and we do all of this. But sometimes you are inside the train and you are running in the train. You are running with the train. You are running because you are on the train. So you don't see what other people are seeing. You're taking the same speed of the train, while the person is standing outside the train, he sees you like this for a second. But you, just on the train, you are not seeing the picture. You need to pause. So the power of pausing is to reflect at what I have done so far. I've been working so hard for the last 10 years. I've been working so hard for the last 5 years. I've been working so hard for the last 3 months. What I have done? What have I done? And what are the results? Did I do something good? Did I do something bad? Do I need to rewind and go back and do something? You cannot rewind and go back. But you can always plan things differently. You can change the way you're doing things. If you did not, how many goals did I achieve from whatever I worked for in the last 1 year or 2 years? So reflection. So what John Maxwell is saying, that reflection turns experience into insight. Reflection turns experience into insights. So I gained experience in the last 2-3 years. What are the insights? What did I learn? How can I benefit other people from now that the experience I have? Everyone needs a time and place to pause. Time we understand, but what is a place? Do we need a place to pause? Yes. What does that place will look like? Do I need to go on exotic island somewhere and probably you don't have to do that, but you need to have a quiet place somewhere in your house, quiet place maybe outside, quiet place where there are no interruption. Reflection is to close your eyes and really run the tape of the last 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, 3 months. Run it in your head and close your eyes and pause and reflect. Was that a good thing? Because a lot of people, they keep running after one thing, and they discover at the end, after they reach, that's not what I was actually aiming for. Okay? They keep thinking about, I want to grow my business, I want to do great things, and I want to take my business from 1 million to 5 million, and they keep running after that, but they never paused in between. And when they reach 5 million, they found out that now 5 million is not profitable for them. 1 million was profitable for them. Because for 5 millions, they increased their cost dramatically. They increased their fixed cost. There is a course I used to teach in college, and this course is actually giving you a sort of break even where the maximum you can grow your business. Because the minute you pass this point, you need to add more fixed cost, and when you add more fixed cost, you're probably ending up losing money than making money. So some people, they keep running after the 5 million goal without pausing, without sitting and understanding how their business is growing, what are the consequences, is it profitable, not profitable, and then when they reach 5 million, say, oops, I'm losing money now. Why? Because they never reflect. That's on the business side. On the personal side, it's the same thing. Is the journey or your growth journey, a journey that you put for yourself, is it paying off? Are you actually increasing your financial income? Are you actually increasing your career or advancing your career? Are you getting better titles? Are you getting better positions? Because you can keep working on yourself, but you're not moving. So what are you doing? There is something that you're doing not right. Pausing with intention expands and enriches thinking. When you really pause with intention, you close your eyes, you take 2 days off somewhere, and you just reflect on what you do and what you have done. And you come back with new ideas, or you come back totally satisfied with what you have been doing. And this is a great thing. It's paying off. My salary 3 years ago was that much. Today my salary is that much. The quality of living of my family was here. Today is here. You know what? I am on the right track. Let's keep going. And that's the reflection. So should the reflection happen every year, 2 years, 3 years? The reflection should happen every day. The reflection should happen of what you have done today. Did I do something good? Did I do something bad? What did I do differently? What should have I done differently? These are the things you need to really start thinking and reflecting on. When you take time to pause, use your eyes. Eyes mean the plural of I, which is investigation. Pausing is about finding meaning in each experience. Illumination, the process of placing value on your experience and performance. Illustration, the process of expanding your experience into a teachable lesson. Good questions are at the heart of reflection. When you are reflecting, this is when you ask yourself these questions coming up. So, please, I'm going to give you a second after I read each question and answer in your head, or answer, write it down and answer. Some questions probably need more thinking, but I'm going to ask you this. Number one, as a person, all of this related to you, as the person. What is my biggest asset? What is my biggest asset? Give you a second. What are the things that you're so proud of that when you can sell it in the market? Something that is so valuable to you that you can sell it in the market. Write it down. Number two, what is my biggest liability? So we're talking finance balance sheet now. You create a balance sheet for yourself. Assets, a liability. People are not familiar with the balance sheet. It is something that I advise every single person in business. If you did not take a course called Finance for Non-Finance People, please do it. Do take it. Finance for Non-Finance People. So you know the basics of probably most people familiar with the profit and loss statement, the P&L, but they are not familiar with the balance sheet. You need to understand the balance sheet. Assets and liability, and they call it balance because it's usually assets equal liabilities, right? So what is my biggest liability? The things that you know it's not good, or there is something that can cost you money in the market, okay? Just a figure of speech. What is my highest high? What are the most things that I reach and I'm so happy about it? What is my highest high? And the opposite, what is my lowest low? Okay, the lowest point that I ever reached, and I was so depressed and I was so upset and I had no money, or I had no career, or I had no job, or I got through a divorce, or your lowest low, okay? Why I'm asking all of these questions? Because this is a part of the reflection process. My highest high, my lowest low. What is my most worthwhile emotion? The things that you're very proud emotionally about. You're very sensitive. You cry when you watch movies. You feel for people. You love your family. Your most worthwhile emotion. Yeah. What is my least worthwhile emotion? The opposite of the first one. What is my best habit? What is your best habit? You know, you're a great soccer player, you're a painter, you're an artist, you sing, you listen to music all the time. What is my best habit? And what is my worst habit? What are the things that is, I do, but it is very bad for me. I wish I stopped doing this. All of us say that, I wish I stopped doing this. I don't like it. But you keep doing it. But you need to highlight it. You need to write it down. What is the most fulfilling to me? What are the things that satisfy me the most as a person? Is the success of me, of myself? Is the success of my family? Is the success of my kids? Is the success of my team? Is adding value to others? What is the most fulfilling to me after doing what I do? What is my most prized possessions? What are the things that you admire the most, that in your position, that is something that you have, that you really think that you can sell and you have the high price for? Last thing, to experience growth in a specific area of your life, ask specific question to that area of your life. Which all of these questions, if you write it down, you can always rewind that video and write these questions, right? And then you write the answer. So which is a great thing about live video, that you can keep watching it and you can stop it, you can pause it, and you can write the answer, which is a great thing. Make it a top priority to find a place and time for personal reflection and questions asking. Ask yourself these questions and stop and pause and say, should I continue? What did I do wrong? What did I do right? What did I achieve? Why I did not achieve? And why I did not achieve? Could have I done something differently? These are all part of the reflections. Schedule time. Don't hope you find the time to pause and reflect. Schedule a time. For me, my reflection is weekly. I have a 10-15 minutes reflection, usually with myself, what I have done this week, what I have done, what we have done this month, what's happening, what are the things that I'm very proud that we have done, what are the things I'm not proud that we have done, or I did do as a person. So reflection is the law number 4 on the 15 invaluable laws of growth. Next week, inshallah, my time is up, we will talk about the law of, very, very close to my heart, the law of consistency. You rather be slow and consistent than to be fast and inconsistent. With that, I want to thank you all for your time this week. Looking forward, inshallah, to see you again next week, same time, 9 o'clock Dubai time, 7 o'clock Egypt time, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time where I am at today. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week. Take care.